Hi guys, Kat here, and tonight it's really late and I'm tired, but I feel like doing some makeup, so I'm gonna do my Ipsy box makeup look, and I'm gonna be doing a couple different things, but I'm doing the Betty Boop boxes. So let's get started. Now, my hair is an absolute mess, and I might be a little more slow going than usual. I'm gonna use my sunglasses as a headband here. I'm going to almost exclusively use Ipsy products today, aside from my foundation, because in the box it had almost everything you would need for a full face. But there's also a couple things I won't be using. I do have the nail polish on, which I just put this on today, and I know I didn't do the best job, but you see my ring finger there? It creased so easily, and that was after letting it set for almost 2 hours. So I'm not impressed with the nail polish, and I don't really like the color either, to be honest. It might make a good, like, French tip type look. And I also used one of these brightening eye masks earlier. I'm not sure if you can honestly tell. The lighting isn't the best, so you see where my eyes are sunken in anyway, because I do have pretty sunken in eyes. So getting into the box, one of the first things I'm going to be using is this No Pore blemish primer, which at first I was honestly afraid to use it. But I did some swatches of this palette on my arm last night, and I used this on it, and I think it actually went pretty okay. So I'm hoping that it is, you know, like that it stays pretty good on my skin without turning kind of gross. Alright, I'm going to use the Farrah brushes that came with it. And at the moment, I'm going to use the straight brush to put the primer on, because they say it's a foundation brush, and I usually use the same thing for primer and foundation. But I'm going to drop it on the skin using the little dropper that's already on it. And I think a little bit goes a long way. So, because it is technically, it's a primer water. I'm honestly a little bit leery of the fact it's rose scented though. I'm gonna finish my face in this real quick and I'll be right back. Product one down. It does leave your skin quite, I mean, it's a nice feeling. It really is. It kind of feels like I just used a nice moisturizing face mask, in all honesty. Now I'm gonna do some concealer. Had something in the corner of my eye. And I'm going to use this Gashis concealer brush that also came in it. I'm really not distinguishing between what came in the small bag versus the big bag. It's just all ones that came from the Betty Boop themed Ipsy bags. So, first, concealer, which my concealer looks disgusting. I know this. I also don't have an actual concealer that is properly toned for the under eye, so I'm just using the tone that I use on the rest of my face. Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, you don't use concealer on your whole face. But I'm using the tone that I would use for concealer anywhere else. That is a little bit lighter than my skin tone. I think that actually did pretty well on my dark circles. Yeah. So Ipsy, if you want to send me a concealer next, I would love it. Alright. So I have that down. I do like this brush a lot better than the one that came in the concealer palette, which was extremely small, which works okay, but I honestly liked that. So now I'm going to use my cheap as hell foundation. It is literally like $1. And because I have a brush, I'm going to use the same brush I use for it because it says that it's for buffing out foundation. So I'm going to use it to buff out foundation. I honestly might need more foundation than that. I didn't want to use too much because it can be hard when you're using a brush to deal with that excess, not access. So this is the, I think it was called the Midnight Collection, Midnight Pro Trio. Okay, so sometimes I do all the wrong things. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the wrong things, and I'm going to drag it. I know you're not supposed to drag foundation with a foundation brush. And yes, I'm the kind to usually put foundation over my eyes too, because they're so dark. But I always go in, and after I've dragged foundation across the face, I make sure to go back in and do that. So next, eyebrows. I gotta do my eyebrows. So let me do those real quick. Ta-da, I have brows. So next, I have brows done. Foundation's on. So I usually do my blush, highlight, bronzer now, which I have all of from this Ipsy box. So these came with the plus, this came with the regular, just like this came with regular, this came with plus. The regular regular, no, yeah, regular plus. Oh, regular. So for this, I'm going to I'll do contour and highlight first. Which I'm actually going to, I'll use this, even though it's a stippling brush. They say to use it for contouring and highlight. No lie. So I'm going to use this as my contour brush, but I'm going to use this new Luxie brush for my highlight, because all I'm going to need to do is blend it in, to be honest, because it's a cream highlight, which is a stick. So I actually don't need to use a brush for this. So I'm gonna actually just go right in. I'm afraid I'm going to use too much. I feel like I'm just putting lipstick on horribly wrong. Yeah, where's my thing? Down. Boop. I'm looking a little crazy already. Not gonna lie. Now here's the fun part. I actually don't know what shade I should use to do a highlight. I mean, contour. Know what I mean? Like, I've never had an actual contour palette. But, like, I contour. I just always use whatever eyeshadow I have handy, which sounds terrible. But I don't want to go in too dark the first time, especially since I'm using, like, a quite broad brush. So I'm gonna just put the light one on. Which is still quite dark, by the way. And it has quite a bit of fallout, too. Like, can you see that? Probably not. Give myself a jawline. Fix my hairline, which I'm actually gonna do with the darkest shade because my hair is so dark that why not? I'm actually gonna put that plastic right back on, because that's how I do things. And I'm gonna just, like, I know stippling brushes, like, that's how you use them, but I really think that it's not gonna move, is it? That just looks so bad right there. So I went a little heavy on that, which makes sense. Like, for real, for real. Makes a lot of sense. because I'm not like the best at contouring, and it's also not something I'm the most practiced at. By the way, you see how much highlighter I put on? I didn't do my nose. Can I do my nose with this? Watch me overdo it on my nose and just like look terrible. I'm actually gonna use the concealer brush and use my mirror so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm again still using the lightest shade. In this palette, which it's the Lovecraft Beauty bronzer palette. When I looked it up, they only had one, so I don't know why I like got a different mirror out, and there's a mirror on this palette. That probably works a lot better than using this itty bitty one. So now I'm gonna buff that out. And I'm actually gonna just like, I got most of the bronzer off of here, so I can just kind of use it for the highlight. That is an intense highlight though, like, y'all see that, right? Now, usually I would at least do a setting powder. But I'm not gonna do that this time. Plus, I've still got to do the blush, which is the shade All Dolled Up. And I am going to use the cheeky end brush. Again, so much fallout. And I'm going to honestly try to get some color payout here, because when I swatched this, I was honestly not all too impressed. Like, can you see how you probably can't tell it's there, but can't say I didn't try. Just gonna clean up the outside a little bit with the brush. I'm honestly disappointed in the blush though. For real. Like, I like blushes, but I like really bright blushes with good color payoff. So next, I think there's only really one thing left. I didn't wind up using that, so I'm going to put that back. These are the brushes I actually got from my Ipsy Flash, so it was $10 for all 4 of these brushes. A highlight and contour brush, and then 2 different eye brushes. So I'm going to, I'm excited, get into the eyes. which I'm honestly happy about because it'll be my first time doing a look with this palette. And honestly, these shades are so pretty to me. I think. Now, these are all both technically blending brushes, but I'm gonna just use them. I'm gonna go in with these pinks and this purple, and we'll go from there. Because I might want to do more. I might not. And honestly, there's this really, okay, so my eyelids are still slightly tacky from putting the primer and the foundation on, so I'm not gonna prime my eyelids. But there's also this like really pretty lavender shade, and I think I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna actually, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get the sticker off this palette. Yeah. By the way, I said that I didn't think it had a good color payout on the blush, but it's actually quite bright. I look like I'm wearing clown makeup. So, that's cool. So I'm gonna go in with this lavender shade in the inner corner. Like the very inner corner. And then I'm gonna go into the glittery pink. And I'm gonna kind of use a patting motion because it has a tendency to have a little better color payout. But I'm gonna be honest, this is nowhere near the color payout I saw when I was swatching it on my arm. Because you can't even really see that inner shade. So I'm gonna go into the light pink now, which is a matte shade. And again, like, there's not a whole lot of color payout. You can actually kind of see it though. Like, it's not invisible, but it's not invisible. Alright, so I think now I'm gonna go into this deep purple, which is not so deep purple. I'm gonna say, guys, like, I'm kind of disappointed in how this is turning out. I can't remember what shade this was. I think it's brown. Is it a brown or a dark purple? It's a brown. So I'm gonna go in the dark shade, and I'm actually gonna put some of this shimmery, almost black color on the outer corner, and going into the lash line, which I kind of regret. This is why people do this first. Y'all, I look a mess. I really do. That's what I get for trying to do something for the first time. It just didn't turn out good. Can you actually see now? I think it would be a little different. One, if there wasn't so much fallout. Like, these shades, you probably couldn't see any of that, but like, there's just so much fallout everywhere, which is not something you want. So I think what I'm gonna say is that I like Ipsy boxes. I like the products in Ipsy boxes. I don't like Ipsy's products, the ones they make themselves, because oof, like, now don't get me wrong, the color payout wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't horrid, but it wasn't exactly good either. And okay, I got much better shades when I was swatching these. So I think with the right brush and the right primer, these could be beautiful. And maybe with us actual, like, I don't know. When I swatched it, I was using Q-tips. So I don't know. Maybe I need a brush that will really pack it on nicely. But, you know, all in all, for a late night makeup session, I don't think this is too bad. I mean, it's not exactly good. I look like I got punched in the eye. But I guess that's what happens when you make it black and purple. And pink. You can't say I didn't try, though. Because I tried. I seriously tried, y'all. And honestly, it would have been nice to see something that was, like, kind of more retro themed, like, which I guess the, like, purples and stuff is a little retro. But, you know, Betty Boop's an old icon. A wonderful icon, by the way, though. Like, I loved Betty Boop as a kid. My mom loved Betty Boop when I was a kid. Not so much anymore. But that's one of the reasons I got this. I'm just... I don't know. I was so excited to be able to do something beautiful with my eyelids. And then there was just zero payout for the colors. So you really do have to build them up quite a bit. And now I have to take my makeup off before I go to bed, which I'm not looking forward to. But I got to, because otherwise I'm going to start breaking out worse. Like, you can see how accentuated my pimples are and my flaws. It's the exact opposite of what makeup's supposed to do. But that was my bad. Like, I put highlight on my pimple. I shouldn't have put highlight on my pimple, because now it just, like, stands out. But it also kind of almost disappears. Almost. Not quite. I think this is my longest makeup video to date. Can't say I didn't warn you, though. So, the only product I didn't actually show on screen today was the perfume, which makes sense. I can't show you a perfume in a makeup video. Like, you can't see it, and they have not created smell-o-vision quite yet. Someday, though. Someday. Y'all have a great night, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. Sorry I was so low energy today. I know usually I'm more like, whoop! Not tonight. Not tonight. I'm tired. I've had a long day. So, have a good one. Bye.